Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel, Teacher Max. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel, Teacher. And welcome to the first episode of Tonight with Teacher Max. Ayan. So thank you very much to everyone who have supported my channel since the beginning. And eto na nga, may bago na tayong yugto sa aking buhay bilang isang YouTuber dahil meron na tayong programang tinatawag na Tonight with Teacher Max kung saan mag-i-invite tayo ng iba't ibang mga tao at aalamin natin ang kanilang mga istorya. Ayan. At for the first episode of Tonight with Teacher Max, we will be discussing how to get a Japanese driver's license here in Japan. Ayan. Kasi very timely siya, guys, kasi it was around this month last year nung mag-apply ako ng Japanese driver's license, and it was such a how would you say it? A very interesting experience. Ayan. And I have invited a very good friend of mine to join us as we discuss like how to acquire this Japanese driver's license. So everyone, I would like you to welcome my guest for this very first episode. So let's all welcome Jaja Navera. Hi,
Hello.
Jaja. Please say hi.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jaja, and I'm so glad to be here.
Yan. Ang ganda ng background mo, ha?
Thanks.
Yeah.
Baka
So,
naman. Oh, char.
so Jaja is my fellow ALT here in Japan, and she is based where?
Okayama. So, malapit siya sa Osaka.
Okay. Malapit lang pala siya sa Osaka. Ayan. So, magka-batch din kami. So, we are both 2018 Jets from the Philippines. Ayan. So, can you tell us something more about yourself bago tayo mag-discuss ng ating topic tonight?
Ayun. So, bukod sa I'm a jet from Okayama, currently, I am also a prefectural advisor. So, I just started nung April, first day of
Mhm.
April. And then I'm also part of National AJET Council. So we're a
Mhm.
volunteer organization of fellow jets. So
Oh.
yes. So volunteer kasi wala siyang halong kung anong extra. Talagang it's just we use our own time, our own extra time
Mhm.
make sure that the jet community is informed of important information from Claire and the other
Yes.
government ministries, Japanese government ministries. Thus, we build a network for all current and former jets. Tapos, we also have, we provide network resources such as online counseling and everything, just to
Mhm.
make sure that everyone has a great time during their jet program experience.
Yeah, so basically guys, if we have problems or concerns, we can ask the help of the people from Egypt, right?
That's right. So,
Yeah. And
mm,
how did you become a director? Did you apply for it? Were you appointed?
all right. So I forgot. So I'm a director of, or the director of alumni resources.
Mhm.
So basically, there are 20 positions in National AJET. Tapos, I know that there are positions that you are elected, and then there
Mhm.
are positions that you are appointed. So yung position ko is appointed. So I applied, and then I was very lucky to be appointed. And FYI, we're actually holding elections. So sa mga current
Okay.
na Pinoy na gustong mag-serve sa National AJET, maybe I can give the link later, and then you can check out which positions you'd like to try.
Okay. So thank you very much, Jaja, for joining me today in this very first episode of Tonight with Teacher Max. And again, please say hi to our audience, to our viewers.
Hi! Hello everyone. Syempre
Ayan.
nandito ko yung comments, mga friends natin.
Ayan. So, hello, shout out to our fellow 2018 Jets. Ayan,
Yeah,
so thank you for supporting us, di ba, sa endeavor na ito.
that's right.
And before we discuss the topic, how to get a Japanese driver's license here in Japan, we would also like to clarify na the whatever we will be discussing will also be applicable to non-ALPs, right? Yes, as long as you work here in Japan, okay, this can be your guide in getting a Japanese driver's license. Of course, mostly Filipinos ang ikikater ng ating vlog na ito, ng ating program. But then, later we will be showing some presentation and it's in English. So if we have we have viewers from other countries, feel free to, of course, ask questions, di ba? So, and yun nga guys, since I mentioned about questions, we can see your comments. Ayan. So, if you have questions, feel free to comment your sections. Ayan. So, katulad ni The Alvin Show, di ba?
Yes,
Na friend mo, Jaja, nandito.
yan. Yes, please subscribe sa channel niya. Yan.
Ayan. Thank you. Okay. So, are you ready?
Okay. Opo.
Okay, so let's start. Okay,
Yeah.
our program for tonight: how to get a Japanese driver's license here in Japan. And the very first question that we would like to answer is this. Okay, ayan. Are
Ayan.
ALPs allowed to drive in Japan? Or we could also represent, sabihin na rin natin, Filipinos working here in Japan. Are we allowed to drive?
Yes. The
Mm.
main overarching answer to that is yes. So for ALTs, there might be different situations wherein
Mhm.
you contracting organization yun won't allow you to drive, but that
Yes,
doesn't mean that you're not allowed to get a driving license. So
yes.
if you want to get a license, the answer is yes.
Okay. But for some ALTs, usually I notice that when
Mm.
you are assigned at the countryside, most likely you will be asked to drive. But
Oh
if
yeah,
you're in yet, but if you are assigned in the city where like there's a good subway system, like there's a good bus transportation system, most likely you would not need to drive, right?
right, right. Pero I've heard of some people then na were in the inaka or the less hindi naman rural, pero meron na
Yeah,
ring sobrang rural, medyo rural areas in
yeah.
Japan that they still had to take public transportation. So there, it's very limited there. Um,
Mm.
kaya I think some of them, kahit na may public transportation, they still want to have a car for the freedom and convenience. Pero like
Yeah,
what we were saying earlier, um, every situation is different. So
yeah.
when you get assigned to a particular contracting organization, you will know if you will be encouraged
Yeah.
to.
Right. And for ALPs, if you remember,
Mm,
part of the application form, okay,
yeah,
one question in the application form is if you have a driving license,
that's right.
right? So if
I
you
remember I put there no.
are really, but
That's why we're
that's
having this entire
right.
episode in the first place because I did not have a driving. I didn't drive in the Philippines, so
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
one thing. And even though I think that's a good point that you raised, no, even though
Mhm.
you indicate that you don't
Yeah.
have a driving license,
Mhm.
have prior driving experience, it doesn't mean that automatically you will be assigned to a place where you don't have to drive.
Yes.
So I think um, they also send parang kasama sa letter na parang if you kung pag na-accept ka, is it still a thing? Do you remember? Kasi I feel like I remember in my acceptance letter they said
Mhm.
you need to take a if you need to have a driver's license, we suggest that you start processing it now. So
Yeah.
the acceptance letter actually says that.
Yeah. So it's very much possible that even if you don't have a driver's license and even if you don't drive, you will be asked to drive. So you have to be ready, guys. Because
Mm,
you have to start learning. Diba? You have to start learning how to drive
yeah.
now. Ayan, sige.
Mhm.
So, now that we are allowed to drive, di ba?
Mhm.
So we will talk about the process of driving here. So ang next question natin is the country license enough to be allowed to drive? Say for example, I have my Philippine driver's license. You were able to get yours. So can we
Mhm.
just use that as we drive here?
The answer is no. So we
Mm.
need a different type of license called the
Mhm.
International Driver's Permit or Driving Permit. So IDP,
Ah, okay.
um,
Mhm.
for us to be able to drive here in Japan.
Ah, I see. Ano ba yung IDP? Ayan. Ano nga ba ang IDP? Okay, so an IDP is an international driving permit and just like what Jaja said, it's an important document that we need here. And ito Jaja, nakalagay dito, you should apply for an IDP prior to
Oh.
leaving your country.
Yes. So hindi
Diba?
siya pwedeng or you can't get it when you're already here in Japan. Like, oh, I'll postpone my appointment. Maybe I'll just go to Japan with my Philippine driver's license and
Yeah,
then change to an IDP in Japan. So that's not the case. We have AAP, which we'll talk about later,
yeah.
who give us the IDP or who can issue IDPs in the
Yes. And it says here, right? This can usually be done at the local office of your home country's automobile association. And Jaja already mentioned about AAP.
AAP.
Diba? So AAP, what is AAP, Jaja?
Okay, I think we're still on the IDP.
Yeah,
Okay,
actually, I
so
think I lost the picture, but you can mention already AAP.
yeah, so yung AAP is Automobile Association of the Philippines. So
Yes,
it's in Aurora Boulevard, and then that's where you can apply for an IDP. So they have a website, and I think we're
yes,
gonna be providing that later. And then you
yes.
have like with the requirements and how much it costs. So for those who are concerned about how much, so ngayon lang sabihin na natin, it costs 3,500 pesos plus tax.
Ah,
So
okay.
plus that. So nasa 3,920 pesos for an
Yeah, okay. So maybe we can show them how an IDP looks like.
ay,
Ayan. Do you have your IDP
show
there?
show and tell.
Yes, show
Pero
and tell. Ayan.
ganyan na konti para hindi makuha yung information sa
Ayan.
IDP.
So, ayan ang aming IDP. Ayan. So, ganito siya kalaki, guys. No? So, hindi siya, it's unlike the normal Philippine driver's license. So, di ba, ito sa ating, nahulog. So, maliit lang.
Yan. Marami siyang pages. Marami siyang pages.
Yes. So, ito yung license natin sa Pilipinas. And this is the IDP. Ayan. So, malaki siya. Okay. There's a question from the Alvin Show.
Yes.
Is a Philippine driver's license a prerequisite for a Japanese driver's license?
And the answer is yes.
Yes. Okay. And the answer is yes. Okay.
Yes.
Now, question, Jaja. So,
Hmm.
if we now have the IDP,
Hmm.
okay, the question is there still a need to get a Japanese driver's license? Can we not just use the IDP forever as long
Forever
as
and
we're
ever.
staying here in Japan?
My answer is I wish. I wish that we just needed the IDP forever and ever and ever.
Yeah.
Amen. But we need an actual Japanese driving or driver's license. So the
Yes.
identity is only for 1 year. And it
Okay.
actually say, teka lang, tignan natin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So while you're doing that, let me read this. So the
Mhm.
IDP is only valid for 1 year from your initial entry into Japan. And so if you plan on staying and driving in Japan longer than 1 year, you will need to apply for a transfer, okay, to a Japanese license. So in short,
Correct.
after 1 year, sorry, but you cannot even renew the
Yep.
IDP. Yeah, we cannot even like go back to your home country, then renew the IDP, then come back. So it's not allowed.
I think meron pero parang merong like 3 months that you have to
Yeah.
stay in your home country.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
if you have a job in Japan, that's gonna be impossible. You can't
Yeah.
have like just 3 months in
Yeah.
your home country, just like you're waiting for the next
Yeah.
renewal of the IDP. So the fastest and the most convenient way is to really get a Japanese driving license.
Yeah. I have heard from some ALPs now that since we have this corona pandemic thing,
Mm.
so they're having a hard time like going to the license center to push through with the application. But then the people in the what how do you say it, the driving center,
Mhm.
they said that they cannot like extend the validity of the IDP.
Oh no.
So that's where the problem comes in for some
Yeah.
ALTs now. So hopefully they will be able to get a workaround for that.
Yes, hopefully,
Ayan.
hopefully.
Mm.
And just to piggyback on what you said earlier, so even if the IDP's validity is a year, it doesn't mean that you're going to wait for the entire year to actually get the Japanese driving license.
Very
So
true.
yes, so no Filipino time. You can't rush
Yeah.
it
Start as early as you
as
can. Right?
early as possible. So if you,
Yes.
especially for jets, so let's say your plan in life is I'm just gonna stay here for a year. I
Mhm.
won't need it. Okay, you don't need it, so bahala ka, okay lang. But then if you go into the program, you get into the
Mhm.
program, and you're really uh parang you imagine yourself staying for more than 1 year
Yes.
and you're
Mhm.
using
You
a
see
car.
yourself like here. Yeah.
Yeah, like maybe 6 months in, start
Mhm.
looking for schools for driving. Oh, not that driving schools. Well, if you
Mhm.
wanna do that later,
Yeah.
pag-usapan natin. Or like try to see kung nasan yung mga license
It's a
center
center. Yeah.
prefecture nyo. Yeah.
Yeah. And earlier, Jaja, you've mentioned about like you need to have your country license 3 months before, right? Prior to coming to Japan. So
I
malaking bagay siya, guys, kasi we have batchmates na hindi na parang they were able to get the license like less than 3 months.
mm-hmm.
So what they did, what our friend did actually was she had to go back to the Philippines like from time to time and like complete the 30 days. Ay, the 3 months rather, the 3 months para lang talaga mag-qualify siya sa pag-apply ng Japanese license. So, what days? It's April na, di ba? So May,
Mm-hmm.
June, July. So for those incoming ALPs, this is the time for you to apply for a license. But we all know that the Philippines is under an extensive
Oh,
community
bureau.
quarantine, no?
Yeah.
So hopefully there will be like considerations later on because of the corona pandemic.
Right.
Ayan.
And to add to that, so I mentioned earlier that I didn't drive in the Philippines, and this is why we're having this episode, is because my
Hmm.
license wasn't 3 months old.
Oh, I see.
Yes. So if our friend had the option to go back and forth, because she only had a parang how many days? Like 2 weeks to fill
Yeah.
in. Just a
Yes.
short
Yes.
time. Just a short time.
Yes.
My license was a month old when I left
Hmm.
the Philippines. So I had 2 months. And obviously I couldn't go back and forth to the Philippines to fulfill the 2 months. So
Hmm.
my only alternative is to go to Japanese driving school. So if you do
Yeah.
not want to spend a lot of money and a lot of time in a Japanese driving school, the only way for you to have an easier transition from a Philippine driving license or driver's license or IDP to the Japanese one is number one to have um, the three
The
month old
Filipino life, the yeah, 3 month
or
old Filipino license. Yeah.
number one
Yeah.
in
And now that you've mentioned that, Jaja, now that you've mentioned that, the question is, how do we really get a Japanese driver's license? And guys, that's the reason why I actually invited Jaja. Because both of us did not undergo the same process. So we underwent different processes in getting the license. So, eto siya. Ayan. So there
yeah.
are two ways on how to get a Japanese driver's license. So one is what I have experienced, a driving test for foreigners. And
Mhm.
because of what happened to Jaja, because of the conditions that she had of her situation, so she had to go to a Japanese driving school. So very
Yeah.
interesting, di ba?
Yes.
Ano kaya
Mm-mm.
yung pagkakaiba? Pero syempre, uh, although Jaja experienced the Japanese driving school, later on, we will be recommending ano yung better dito sa dalawa.
Mhm.
Di ba?
Yes. Alam ko
Yeah,
na yung
yeah.
sagot. Alam ko na yung sagot, pero huwag tayong spoiler.
Correct, correct. So guys, so please take note that there are two ways for you to get a Japanese driver's license. So again, just the normal thing for most people, for most foreigners, you take a driving test,
Mhm.
or you do it the local way,
Yes.
guys. Diba? A Japanese driving school. So ang question now natin is, how to apply and what are the requirements? So let's look at this things. So definitely one, your passport. Of course, your passport should be, how do you say it? It's not expired, right? And
Yeah.
then your foreign residence or alien registration or gaijin card. The residence card naman, this is you get this ano 'di ba? Like pagdating mo dito sa Japan,
Mm.
right?
Yeah. So for the incoming ALTs, the jets, this is
Mm.
something that you don't have to worry about because your supervisor will actually accompany you to the center where you can get your
Mhm.
residence card or your Zairyu card.
Yeah. Okay. And then you have, of course, you need to have your valid license from your home country. And ayan, ito na pala, nandito yung sinabi natin. This transfer is only applicable if your home country license was issued to you more than 3 months before arrival in Japan. Okay, very good. And this one, how about sa Japanese driving school?
Mm.
Did you need an official attestation of your foreign license?
For the school that I went to, no.
Okay.
So I just got the just whatever I had because
Mm-hmm.
in my school there there's English instruction. So there are teachers that are not Japanese can understand English. Actually, my instructor was Filipina. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but again, I just want to stress that it really might depend on on the driving school that you're going to apply to.
Yeah. Merong question ng isa nating fellow ALT na si Sir Joey. Ayan, nakita ko bigla sa comments. Sabi niya, ayan, nasagot na daw natin yung tanong niya. Pero banggitin na rin natin yung tanong niya. He said,
Yes.
what if I don't have a Philippine driver's license and then I woke up one day wanting to get a driver's license in Japan? Is it possible to get one?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Very
And
good.
that is the Japanese driving school.
Yes.
If you
That's
also
very
wake
true.
up and then you happen to have a lot of money, then yes.
Yeah. And then, so banggitin ko na lang din, since we mentioned about the official translation, for me, for what happened with me, I had to get an official translation of my license,
Right.
and I can only get it through JAF, okay,
I
or the Japan Automobile Federation.
right.
Ayan. And it cost me around 3,000
Mm.
yen. Okay, so basically, guys, it's just a literal translation of what's written in your Filipino
Mm.
license translated into Japanese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I
And
forgot
then,
to mention this. I sorry. Go on.
yeah, go.
Okay. Kasi you asked if I was asked for a translation of my
Mhm.
license, and I said no, mainly because I'm going to driving school, and the assumption is that you do not have a license at all. Like you're starting from scratch.
Mm.
So let's say if I'm a Filipino worker in Japan,
Yes.
and for some reason I got transferred to a place where I had to drive a car, then
Mm.
obviously I don't have any license to show them. So the license is not required because the assumption is you do not have a license, either
Mm.
Filipino or whatever else, and you need to get a Japanese license. So I feel
Yeah.
like sa'yo, Teacher Max, ang requirement or the requirement na hiningi is the translation and stuff because it's understood
Mhm.
since you're going through parang anong
Just a transfer it.
yeah, kirikay ata yung tawag nila in
Yes,
Japanese.
yes, yes. Kirikay, yes.
Kirikay. So
So,
kirikay
yeah.
lang, so it's gonna be uh, a requirement naturally dahil alam nila that
Yeah.
may license ka na and you know how to drive and all that.
Yeah. And then this one is very important also. If your foreign license doesn't have a date printed on it, you will need a letter from your local licensing center that offers proof that you obtained your license more than 3 months prior to arriving in Japan. And this is exactly what happened to me. Kasi prior to coming here, I had my license renewed. So hindi pala pwede yon. So if since I renewed my license, so parang the date that they will be looking at would be the date of the renewal, not
Ah,
the date that it was issued,
hmm.
originally issued. So I had to bring another document with me
Mhm.
that will prove that my license was issued way before, something like that. And I was able to get it naman
Oh, that's
sa
good.
sa anong tawag sa Pilipinas? LTO. I was able to get it sa LTO sa anong anong ng LTO?
Land and Transportation Office?
Yes, okay. I was able to get it there. It's just like a certification that my license was issued this kopong-kopong time. Ayan.
Parang talaga. 'Di ba ano
Yes.
ka lang, 22 ka lang, Teacher
Oo
Max?
naman, 22 lang tayo. Okay, and then of course we need to have a Jumineo or the
Hmm,
certificate of residence. Napakamura lang naman ito, parang 100 yen lang ata ito, di ba? Or like,
right.
yeah, 100 yen. And
Actually, hindi ko alam kung nagbayad ako, eh. Feeling ko parang hindi.
baka it was part na of your total,
Yeah,
total
yeah.
fee, di ba? And then a
Again,
recent,
on the picture. Mm.
yeah, and then a recent photo, of course, passport style. Ayan. Did you have to take a photo din ba?
After, when I was
Yeah,
going to yeah, yeah, oo, when I enrolled, they asked for photos for driving school,
yeah, yeah.
because they were saying that maybe these photos you can use, uh, when you're gonna get your license. But then it
Mhm.
ended up na I took new photos for my Japanese license. So,
I see. Okay. Next naman natin, Ja, is how much? Ayan. How much? How much does
nagpapawisan ako bigla. Alam mo, parang 10 degrees lang dito pero nagpawisan ako bigla dun sa how much.
you know what? By looking at this slide, I think they already know that they would have to go for number one.
Guys, I'm telling you, spare yourselves of the hassle, the
Yes.
financial, emotional, mental
Yes.
hassle, and
Yeah.
number one.
Yeah. Okay, guys. So I wrote here for driving tests for foreigners, you can actually just pay. You will be paying around 10,000 to 30,000 yen,
Yes.
depending on how many times you will take it. Well,
Mm,
considering na baka bumagsak ka on your try dun sa practical driving. And then, of course, for number two, Japanese driving school, si Jaja, hindi naman siya actually 300,000 yen. But it's safe to say that if you go to a driving school, you will
yeah.
pay 300,000 yen. How much exactly did you pay?
So it really depends.
Mhm.
Because dun sa school ko, they indicated the age and then the type of license that you're getting, and then
Mhm.
what kind of lessons you're getting. So it really depends on.
Mhm.
So what I paid is 270,000 yen
Mhm.
cash
But
in
still,
one
it's a
go.
lot of money.
In one go. So
In
maybe
one go, oh my God.
yes. As in like I parang bulto ng ng lakad yung bit ko dun sa tas kakap ko lang yung bag ko forever. No, but
Mm.
just to give them an idea, like, so divided by 2. So
Mhm.
yen to peso is divided by 2, roughly, right? So parang 270 magkano, oh my God, math. 135,000
Mhm.
pesos for a license. Ulitin ko guys, 135,000 pesos for a license.
And imagine, like, of course, it's ano naman it's what do you call this? It's stated naman sa website ng Jet that for a first year Jet, your salary for a
Month.
month salary monthly is around 280,000 pesos. So halos buong sweldo mo na, di ba?
Sakit.
Kaya ang sakit.
So
So
I was saving up
yes.
for it pretty early. So I thought I would be staying in Jet for only a year, but when I got
Mm,
here, everything was just so great, and I wanted to experience Japan more. So I said I'm gonna stay another year, and I'm gonna take that Japanese driving test, whatever it takes. So I
mm,
started saving by like my fourth month.
okay.
Mm.
Yeah, so let this be a lesson, guys. Na if you really have plans of driving here in Japan, get your
Mm.
license now. Diba? After the quarantine, after the lockdown, dumiretso ka na sa LTO. Okay,
Oh
now
my
the
God.
question.
Yes.
I mean, comment pala tayo dito, Ja. Wait lang. Wala pala. Miss Jaja, ba't mo daw binuking na 22 lang ako? Akala daw nila 18 lang ako. Oh, thank you naman.
Sorry. Tsaka hello kay Ty, hello kay Carl.
Yes, hi, Carl, Asian Tyrell, na
Yes.
makikita niyo rin very soon sa ating
Yes.
channel.
Please
Reese,
subscribe to his channel.
yeah, kay Angela, of course, di ba? Kay
Support
Angela.
Angela.
Ayan. And to all our viewers, feel free to comment para naman ma-shout out namin kayo. Okay.
Para maramdaman
Ngayon,
namin ang presensya niyo na
yeah. And now, the question is, we already know how much we are going to pay. What's the process, 'di ba, of the application? Madali lang ba? Ano ba yung mga prosesong pinagdaanan natin? Okay. So, let me discuss first naman yung akin. Okay, so for the application process and driving test, for number one, getting like a kirikay, just a transfer of the license. So it says here, you have to gather all required documents, which we have already mentioned earlier. Now, one thing that I have to share with you guys is here sa Kyoto City, they don't accept walk-ins. So you have to make a phone reservation for the day you will submit the documents. Okay, just the day of
Hmm,
submitting and not yet the actual test.
alright. So hindi
Okay,
puwedeng one day processing?
yes, you cannot process it in a day. So, for
Mhm.
example, I remember I try as early because I wanted to start early. So as early as November, I was already asking the help of my supervisor to get a reservation. And then I was hoping like to at least get a schedule by December. But
Hmm.
then you have to take note na maraming nag-a-apply. So I was able to get a reservation na March. Diba? Imagine, ganun kalayo.
Oh
So
my
you
God.
need to have a phone reservation, then submit all your documents. And then ito pala, very important, when you submit your documents, make sure that all your documents are like valid. Walang expiry, hindi siya expired. Why? Because for example, when I went there, alam mo ba yon, sobrang sama ng loob ko. When I went there, what I submitted was a Juminyo na binigay sa atin during the day of our, kailan ba? When we arrived here.
Oo, oo,
So,
oo.
lagpas na siya ng 6 months and they did not accept.
Oh.
So, I went to all the way to Kyoto City. Okay, and left Kyoto City sad because I had to make another phone reservation for another day just because they did not accept my residence certificate. Ayan. And then, so after nun, pag nasubmit mo na yung mga documents mo, they will have to check it. And after that, the next day, you will be asked to take the written test. And then once you pass the written test, that's the time na you will take the actual driving test. Ayan. So stop muna ako doon. Mamaya pag-usapan natin mismo yung driving test. So then syempre, after you pass the driving test, that's the time where you can get the license. Ayan. How about you? What were the processes you underwent?
Before the driving test itself. I
Yes,
mean, the
before the
driving
driving test.
school. The
Beginning
driving.
from the going to the driving school. Okay,
Okay.
wait. Yes, okay, here.
Ayan.
Ito na guys for number 2. If you want to go to a Japanese
Mahaba
driving
'to 'no, suka kayo ng tubig kasi mahaba siya. So, I didn't include it in the chart, but I started, or maybe one of the most difficult parts of going to a driving school is actually looking for the right driving school because I don't speak fluent Japanese.
Yeah.
We have to keep in mind that all the lessons, if you go to a normal Japanese driving school, all the lessons will be in Japanese and you need to be fluent if you're going to go to that. So there will be a lot of options open for you. Yun yung pro. The pro is all of the schools in Japan, driving schools in Japan, great. But if you're like me, that I need English instruction, I
Mhm.
needed to find a school closest to where I live. And
Mhm.
closest to me was Shimane Prefecture. So it's in another prefecture. Like
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
know. So kasi before they said that Totori, which is near like an hour away
Mhm.
from, they said that they had English instruction in their driving school. Tapos when we called with my supervisor, so Jets, make sure that you also tell your supervisors if you decide to go to driving school so they can help you with the process with the calling
Yes.
everything. So they called, my supervisor called and they said, I know we don't have English instruction, but here we're gonna give you a number of a school in Shimane. I'm not sure if you can
Mhm.
mention the name. Siguro na lang.
Yeah.
Hindi ko
Okay. It's okay.
Yeah. So um, and then it turns out that this school had a Filipina instructor. So I was very lucky, and not so lucky because it's far. Um,
Mhm.
but when I found the school, I had to submit application forms, enrollment forms, facts. So I needed to ask for permission. Yan
Mhm.
pa, guys. If you're gonna go to driving school in Japan, you have to make sure that you get the permission of your contracting organization or your base school or your BOE.
Mhm. Yes. Okay, so medyo naglag si Jaja. Jaja, are you still there? Okay, maybe Jaja is experiencing some technical difficulties. Wait, let's try to find out if she's still here. Jaja? Okay, so while we're waiting for Jaja to come back, okay, ayan. So here, okay, is an infographic on how to get a Japanese driver's license through what do you call this? A Japanese driving school. Okay, I just received a message from Jaja that she lost her connection. So she will try to re-enter the broadcast. Ayan. So very exciting. Okay, wait. I'll just tell her to just re-enter the broadcast. Okay, so while we're waiting, let's entertain some comments. Okay. How long does it take to get an IDP? Ayan, very good question. Okay, wait. Okay, nakabalik na si
Yes pala, hello.
Okay, so while you were away, there's a good
Bakit yung
question.
phone ko kasi nawala? Okay, okay,
Yeah.
sige.
So while you were away, there's a good question lang here. Before we go back dun sa pinag-uusapan natin, how long does it take to get an IDP? Sobrang dali lang siya. Yeah, I mean like less than an hour, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
We
less
don't.
than an hour. Kasi guys, pagpunta mo lang doon sa AAP, just have to fill out some forms, submit the requirements. and then actually wala, they will just have to process it for a few minutes, then pay, and after that you just have to wait for the IDP to be released. So
Right.
hindi siya hindi mo siya gano'n kakaproblemahin kasi you can do it in just a day. Ayan. So thank you, Jaja, for joining again. Ayan, wala ka.
Sorry, hindi ko alam kung anong nangyari. As in, sobrang namatay yung internet ko. Weird. Pero anyway, I'll get back to that later siguro. Ayusin ko siya. Pero for now,
Yes.
okay lang muna. Kita ba ako? Hindi ko nasisense. Ang liit kong nasa phone. Pero, what was I saying? Oh my gosh.
Okay, you were
Uh,
saying that
wait lang. So I've looked for a school. Ayun,
yes.
yung Nenkyu,
Mhm.
like vacation leave. So in Japan we call it Nenkyu or paid leave. So it's not gonna be done in one day. And in my experience, it took me 2 whole weeks, including weekends. So by
Mhm.
14 days. And the thing is, later maybe in the process I can talk about that.
Yeah.
But my paid vacation days are only 15 for a year.
Mhm.
So even let's say with parang 7 na lang ating natira sa akin.
Mhm.
7 lang. So I didn't have enough. So what happened is I needed to ask permission from my base school to actually have the lessons.
Mhm.
And I was unpaid for 1 week.
Oh, so
Yeah.
you weren't able to get a special leave for
No,
that.
no.
Okay,
So
because in my case, I think maybe the my board of education was just very generous that they gave me 5 special leaves for the
that's
driving
great.
test.
That's great.
Yeah, so
You
but again, we just have to remind everyone the term ESID nga, di ba? So every situation is different. So some DOEs might give, some may not. Yeah. So in that case, he was not given a special
No, no.
leave.
So when I told them about it, they said, well, unfortunately, you can use all of your paid leave, but once that runs out, then you would have to be unpaid. So they let me do the lessons, but I will
Mhm.
be unpaid. So those were the first steps. Once that's settled, so when I chose my school, I chose the 14-day intensive lessons. So when
Mm.
you say intensive, that means every day from Monday to Sunday you are doing lectures, you are doing driving tests.
How many hours a day?
So I actually got my schedule. Siyempre meron tayong props.
Yes.
So yung luma kong schedule, it
Mhm.
says 8:25 in the morning to 19.
7 o'clock. 7 o'clock.
Yes.
Wow. Grabe. So like how many
Yes.
hours? How many hours again in the in, 40 in that
So parang
14
lagi
minutes?
parang 8 to 7.
8 to
Minsan,
7. Grabe.
minsan 9 to 6.
Mm.
Mm. So that, and then I lived in the school for 14 days.
So like they part of the fee that you pay is like an accommodation.
Yes. So mine was single room. So I was the only one. I chose that kahit medyo mahal siya. I didn't want to have roommates. So I just chose that. And then we ate everything. Like we weren't allowed to go out of the school for safety purposes. So
Mhm.
after the 14 days, tsaka ka lang mag-graduate and you go back to like your home prefecture.
I see. Okay. So after that, so you have to undergo like lectures, and then after the
Mm-hmm.
lectures, you need to take the test.
Yes.
Okay.
So the tests are scheduled. So they usually are after 6 or 7 days. So isang
Mm.
linggo ng lectures and driving within the school. And then on the seventh day, if I'm not mistaken, we take our parang preliminary tests. Uh,
Mm.
yes, so we have a driving test in the school.
Okay. Okay.
We have a driving test in the school, so we don't go anywhere. We have a driving test in the school. Because at this point, we don't have a learner's permit yet. So I think in the flow chart, it says there,
Uh,
week one. I'm sorry, I
okay.
can't
Wait.
see it.
Wait.
Sige.
Okay. Here, let me show it. Okay.
Yan. Tatry ko ulit connect using
Okay.
my laptop. Kasi parang mas nakikita ko yung mga
Yeah,
bagay-bagay.
but
Pero
it
hindi,
says
buksan ko.
yeah. It says here after week 1 you get learner, and
Yes.
then week
So
2
week
you
one
get the final driving test.
Yes. So learner's permit driving test is in the school. So guys, ito yung very difficult is if you fail any of this, mauusog yung graduation nyo.
Mm-hmm.
So if I, let's say, for me, I only had a limited number of days that I could do it. I told my school 14 days tops. If I
Mm-hmm.
failed any of this, yung 14 days ko magiging 15, magiging 16,
Yeah.
magiging
Yes.
17. So I have people, or I knew people back in the school that
Mm-hmm.
they were in the school for a month na because they
Grabe.
kept on failing. Yeah, they
Mm.
kept on failing. So this you really didn't have, you don't, or you cannot, must not fail.
Yeah.
So the
Okay.
driving, yeah.
Okay. So, since you've mentioned about people who keep on failing, I also have like fellow test takers who were there like for a number of days already because they were failing and failing. Kaya talagang you have to make sure na you have to do your best, di ba? Both in
Right.
the written. So if there's some what are the similarities taking the test, Kirikay, and the driving school? Similarities would be, of course, we submit application documents, and then of course we take written tests, di ba? We take a written test. Ilang items ang written test mo sa driving school? Okay.
Ayan, bumalik na ata ulit ako. Wait lang. Do you see me? There you go.
Ayan,
Ayan,
nasa
yay!
laptop na
Oh,
siya.
sorry,
Ayan.
item.
Okay. How many items?
So yung learner's permit, yung learner's permit 50. 50 siya.
Wow. Mm. It's about
Yeah,
all the things that
50
you
siya.
have
But
discussed with it.
yeah. But that's just for the first week. For the second week, it's gonna be one. So the second week, I think it's there the
Okay.
after driving school final written test. Yun yung 100 items sa prefectural license center. But for the first week, yung
And
driving
yes.
whatever license center
Mm.
is closest to me, that's where I have that's where I got the written test.
Okay. So for
Does
me
that make
naman,
sense?
yeah, when I took the written test, alam mo ba kung ilang items lang? Baka mainis ka. There were only 10 items. It's a 10
Mm.
item multiple choice test. No, multiple choice ba?
10.
Multiple choice? Yeah, 10 items lang, di ba? So, hindi ko kinaya ang halos 200 items mo na test. Ha? Grabe. Ayan. So, of course, once you pass the written test, ito na yung yung driving test, yung actual driving. 'Di ba? Na swerte sa Pilipinas, 'di ba, na yung iba hindi yung ginagawa, no? So, pero dito guys, kailangan gawin yung actual driving test.
Ay.
And
Mm.
kung si Jaja, how many tries did it get you? Did it take you rather para makuha yung yung
One.
makita yung driving test? Just one?
Just one.
Diyan mo naman ako natalo, be. Because I had to take it. I had to take it 5 times. Grabe. I had to take it 5 times. So I passed on my 5th try. Okay. So eto pag-usapan natin ano ba yung mga kailangan nating tandaan na while dun sa driving dun sa actual driving test. So ito guys, look. So what are some things I can be failed for? Okay, so let's discuss each one briefly. So number one, failing to stop at the railroad crossing. Okay, so of course, doon sa mismong driving course, meron dong pa-railroad keme si Mayor, di ba? And here, in Japan, you have to stop, okay, before crossing. At least 3 seconds, right? Kasi meron
Yeah.
tinatawag dito guys na tomare or yung stop sign. So, before you cross the railroad, kailangan stop ka for 3 seconds. And then, what do you call this? Some instructors, they would require you to put the window down, di ba? And
Yes.
then, kailangan you
Look
have
and
to make
listen.
sure. Yes, stop, look, and listen. So make your kakunin, hidari, nigi, di ba? Your check left and right.
Yes.
And sa inyo ba, sometimes, ito yung the funny thing is, guys, so di ba minsan sa Pilipinas, sanay ka naman kasi tingin ka lang sa side mirror or tingin ka lang, very simple. But here, during the test, you have to do it exaggerated.
Exaggerated.
As
Yeah.
in, talagang,
Oh, kasi sobrang, yeah, yung kahit yung titingin ka lang sa sa rear view, hindi pwedeng yung
yes,
mata mo lang yung gagalaw eh.
correct, true,
The, when you're instructed, even your instructors, they point.
yes,
They're like, parang,
yeah,
sa tunay na buhay naman, mamamatay ka ata.
yeah. And
Pero,
sometimes, guys, and some instructors, they appreciate kapag parang you verbalize what you're doing. Some naman, they prefer, like, you just have to be quiet, but, like, just make sure to do everything in, like, in
yeah.
an exaggerated manner. Kasi actually, Be, during my first two tries, I was verbalizing. Like, it's like I was telling, oh, I'm about to turn left. I'm about to turn right. I'm about to cross the railroad, blah, blah, blah.
Oh my
But it
gosh.
did not work in my favor. So, pumasa ako ng hindi nagsasalita.
Akin mo yan. No, but I
Correct.
think it's really different. Yung sinasabi rin ng friends ko who are not Filipino, okay, they'll take the test. It really depends on who your examiner is.
Yes,
If
true.
if you're lucky, let's say you can pass for the first time. If you're not,
Mhm.
and then let's say for the second, third time, you get different people. They're looking for different things. So that's
Yes, that's very true.
hmm,
And actually, I think that's one reason why I kept on failing.
yeah.
Because during my first try, after my first try, the next day, it was a different examiner. I
Mm-hmm,
tried doing the things that the previous examiner said, but
mm-hmm.
then for this examiner, he was looking for other things. So,
Right.
like, ang nangyari sa akin is like every day there was a different examiner. That's why it's hard like to satisfy them of what they want. Parang ganyan.
Mhm.
Okay, next. It says here, not checking under and behind your car for animals or small children.
Oh my
Right? Getting in, no? Di ba?
yes, yes. So they have points. It's a point system, guys. So if you do not check, that's already point off. And I've
Yes,
heard people actually fail. Like they
yes,
haven't even gotten into the car. They
true.
forgot to check. And the person will be like, okay, it's done. You fail. Like, what? I
Yeah.
haven't even done
I think
anything
that's the
yet.
first thing that's the first thing that you should do is like once you approach your car, look under, like check if there's an animal or a cat or anything, and then like just look left and right and see that you're clear, right?
Mhm.
Next, not adjusting your seat belt. Ito grabe to, di ba? Na parang when you drive naman,
Mhm.
you don't do this, no? But during the test, you have to adjust the seat belt, even the mirrors, right?
Yes, yes.
Before
Tsaka
start.
yung height, and then yung lalayo ng seat mo. Yeah.
Yeah. How about this one? I'm not sure if this is ESID, but not putting the emergency brake on when you finish the course. This might be ESID.
Might
Parang I
be.
don't remember. I don't remember putting the emergency brake on after
Yeah, I
finishing.
don't. I don't.
Ito,
Pinapasa sa akin yung makina.
yes, yes. Ito, this one is very much important. Not staying left enough. Diba?
Especially when turning, you have to hug. You have to hug the turn.
Yes. And, diba, when you say you're not staying left enough, you have to stay super left. Na
Yeah.
halos nandun ka na sa kanal.
Yeah.
You have
No,
to stay super
but the
left.
funny thing is, like what you said, in real life, you would see Japanese drivers who don't follow this. Like they are on the
Yes,
center
true.
of the lane. But it was taught to us na, oh, it should always be to the left.
Yeah. And if you're actually driving this as actual road, it's very hard to go super left because
Oh
of,
yeah.
you know the term gaijin trap? Do you know the gaijin trap? Are you aware? Kasi dito sa Ilacad, sa area namin, it's like there's really a canal
Oh
on
my
that
god.
side. So if you go super left, babagsak yung gulong mo doon. 'Di ba? So so but during the driving test, you have to really stay on the left. And of course, you should not exceed the speed limit, 'di
Oh
ba?
yeah. Yeah.
Tulad sa Pinas, dito very strict ang speed limit.
Yeah.
Uh,
And then, yeah, for drivers then in real life, they really have like not just signs on the road, but they have signs on on the ground. On the
yes.
ground. So unlike in the Philippines, hindi yata, alam ko meron naman, pero hindi, it's not as often. But in
Yeah.
Japan, they're really like 50, 60, or
Yes.
70. They really are telling you how fast you can go.
Yes, you have to be careful because I mean you don't want to be asked to you don't want to be stopped just
Mm.
because you exceeded the speed limit. And then of course you're touching the curb or the S. And yeah, when you go super left, you might touch the curb, so you have to be careful. Then when you go to the S,
Yeah.
diba, and the L, and
Yeah.
those
So
things.
in my driving experience, kasi yung first driving experience ko is sa grounds of
Mhm.
the driving school. So they have an S crank.
Yes,
So if you fall, if one of your wheels
yes,
fall,
indeed,
you fail.
yes.
Yan.
Yeah. And
Yun.
sometimes, diba, ang mahirap dyan sa S crank, diba? So as you enter the S, you still have to stay on the left.
That's
So
true.
the instructor did not want me like to make some adjustment by going right first a little, then
Yeah.
go then turn left. No, you
Yeah.
have to turn left, diba?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And at least for driving school, because obviously they teach us this, but
yeah.
they're very particular. Like even when they teach us the parallel parking, they have bars na parang,
Mm,
oh, on the third bar, you turn your
yeah.
your steering wheel to the left two times. Basta particular talaga nila. So it's gonna be really difficult if you end up with an examiner who's um attentive to all details.
Yeah. And since you mentioned that like they taught you this during like the lesson part of your driving, your schooling. In my case naman, so if since I failed, diba, I have the option to take a driving lesson. And if you take the driving lesson, that would cost you another amount of money. And then there's no assurance din naman na after you take the lesson, you will pass. So actually, I did not take the lesson, but I know of some people who were how do you say it? Who were taking the test repetitively.
Oh yeah,
Na
yeah, yeah.
parang, diba? And then like itong isa nga na naging friend ko na siya, I passed on my fifth try, pero siya hindi pa rin siya pumapasa. And
Oh my
she
god.
has taken, she had taken the test already like 10 times. So
Oh
sobrang
my
parang
god.
yung ginastos niya is almost the same amount na binayad mo sa driving school. So
Oh
you have to decide din talaga kung ano dapat mong gawin.
yeah.
Okay. And then last year, not doing appropriate checks or
Hmm.
kakunin, the Japanese term kakunin, before and during the blinking process.
Right. So
Yeah.
kakonin is literally to check, right?
Yes.
So
So guys, for example, if you're about to turn right, you have to check first, di ba, na wala
yeah,
kang tao sa gilid
yeah.
mo. Like
Mm.
three times, almost three times you have to check. Hindi yung
So
basta,
rear, side, tapos
yeah,
yung blind spot. Mm.
yes. You don't just turn the blinker on, then move. Okay.
No. Meron
You
lang
have
sa amin eh, the distance itself, like they
yes.
would say 30 meters
30
from.
meters. Yes. Yeah. Ayan, so these are actually just some of the things we need to remember or some things that you can be failed for. Pero marami pang iba na matututunan nyo rin naman yan if you go to a driving school or if you attend a driving lesson.
Yeah.
Pero in my case, since nga I did not take a driving lesson, you can ask your senpais, di ba, the ones who have taken the driving test before, ano yung mga dapat matandaan nila. And usually naman, these people would forward you some like documents that would serve as your guide. Di
Yeah.
ba? So, in our case, to our fellow Filipino ALTs and fellow Filipinos watching, kontakin nyo lang kami.
Yes.
Tutulungan natin sila, di ba? On a separate occasion, we can tell you what
Yeah.
to do. Ayan.
Yes. So you
Okay.
can just message us. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, next. We're almost done na pala, no? Okay, eto naman, Jaja, napakaganda nito. Pag-usapan
Ay.
lang natin, very interesting siya eh. What are
Mm.
some important things I need to remember as a driver in Japan? So, number one would be car orientation. Nasaan ba ang steering wheel?
Hulaan nyo.
Yeah.
So syempre, kabaliktaran, right? So it's
Yeah.
gonna be the opposite of what we're used to in the Philippines.
Yeah.
So it
So,
was a
dito,
huge
nasa
change.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
nasa right. So at first I thought it would be hard to adjust, no, na nasa
Mm.
right, 'di ba? Parang there were times nga before na I still go to the left side of the car kasi sanay ako na dun papasok ng kotse, no? Pero ngayon
Yeah.
nandito sa right. But wait. So how about you? Because I had experience driving in the Philippines.
Oh
So
my
there was
God.
there was some adjustment. Pero ikaw, di ba wala? So you
Hardly.
started,
So
ba?
I think for me that was both a pro and a con. A pro in a sense na
Mm,
since hindi ako sanay mag-drive sa Pilipinas, I haven't formed the habits yet. Pero
Yeah.
the con was, I was completely clueless. So on my first day in Japan, guys, my first day not in Japan, sorry, in my prefecture, they had
Mm.
me get the car and they had me drive the car to
Right there and then.
yes, right there and then. And I was just
Mm.
like, lahat ata ng santo na kilala ko sa lahat ng relihiyon. Ko na. Tapos nung nagda-drive ako, katabi ko yung may-ari ng rental place. So basically,
Mm.
the person who owned the car, he was a
Mm.
very nice lolo type of guy. Hanggang ngayon, sobrang
Yeah.
helpful sa akin. And while I was driving, he was just like, careful, careful, like, it's dangerous. Why are you doing this? Oh, your blinkers. Blinkers is yung signal.
Yeah.
Winker yung tawag nila dito sa Japan.
Mm.
So, everything sobrang grabe.
Yeah.
So,
Mm.
please,
Yeah.
make sure that you know how to drive when you get here.
So, okay, so first, diba, number one, the steering wheel is on the right. But then, this time, we drive on the left. So, sa Pilipinas, diba, and some other countries, we drive on the right. But here, we drive on the left. So, yun yung malaking adjustment kasi during the first few days na nagda-drive ako, minsan talaga napapapunta pa rin ako sa kanan eh. Kasi doon ka sanay eh.
Oh.
Diba?
Tsaka yung signal, di ba?
Yes, yes.
So,
Although,
tama ba?
yeah, yes. Although, I was pretty, how do you say it? I was pretty familiar with the, kasi di ba nasa right na nga? Kasi in the Philippines, yung kotse ko before, actually galing siyang Japan. Na nilipat lang sa nilipat lang sa left side yung steering wheel. Pero, same lang yung sa blinkers and all. So, naging advantage din siya for
Kasi
me.
I remember when I first had to use the signal, parang wiper.
Siyempre, di ba, when you're already nervous and you're panicking, yung wiper pa. Yeah.
So,
okay, and this one, number 3 is very interesting, di ba? So, owning a car versus renting a car. Do you own one or are you renting?
I rent one for a very low price. And not
Okay.
sarcastic. Price talaga siya.
Yeah. How much
So,
is your car rental?
I'm renting it for 16,500 yen.
That's very cheap.
So
That's
for
it.
Filipinos out there, that's roughly 8,000 pesos.
Yeah.
And Teacher Max, diba, you have a different experience of like how much
Yes.
to...
True. Actually, before, on my first year here, I was renting a car also. And actually, the Board of Education recommended the car dealer for that kasi they have an English speaking staff rather. Kaya doon kami dinala. And when you have an English speaking staff, medyo mas mahal. Okay, so I was paying around 38,000 yen monthly. 'Di ba? Compare mo sa 16,000, 'di ba? So that 30,000 yen, magkano yung peso? That's how much in peso?
Yeah.
Around 17? 17 to 20,000 pesos. So, di ba, grabe siya.
Yeah. I heard though na yung rent ko super mura talaga. Kasi even with my friends around the area, I don't think they pay that low. So, yeah. Got lucky.
So, somehow, even if you paid a big amount of money for your driving school, nakabawi ka naman sa car rental. No?
Yeah.
But now, guys, actually, yeah, let me just share na I'm owning a car now. Oh, di ba? Iba din. Nasa akin na ang corona. Pero
wag coronavirus.
Yes, coronavirus. So I own a car na. You know what? I was very lucky kasi I had this Filipino friend na magka-transfer na sa Tokyo. And sa Tokyo, hindi naman masyado kailangan mag-drive-drive, di ba? So she gave me her car. O, di ba? Napakabait. So, let me give a shout out to Ate Sally. Ate Sally, maraming salamat dahil binigay mo sa akin ang kotse mo.
Go, Ate Sally!
Ayan, thank you very much. Ayan, at hindi ko na kailangan magbayad ng monthly. So, in owning a car, ang nangyari lang naman is, tinransfer lang yung how do you say it, yung registration forms, tinransfer lang sa pangalan ko. Then I just have to get an insurance, which is number 4, di ba? We have to get an insurance, and after nun, wala na akong monthly, just maintenance na lang.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So, I think ang con naman ng renting is obviously may monthly. Yes. But then, yung pro niya is you don't have to worry about check-in, am I right? Is that Shaken nga ba yun, car
Shaken,
insurance?
Shaken. Yes.
So I don't have to worry about that. I don't know how much Shaken is specifically, pero I think hindi din siya mura, di ba? It's parang every 3
Yes,
years. Tama.
every 2 years. So actually, guys, so if you're
Okay.
renting, you don't have to be problematic about it. But if
Mm,
you're owning a car like me, Shaken is like the year. Hindi siya yearly kasi it's a maximum of 2 years yung validity. But
right.
it's the checking up of your car para titignan nila kung ano yung mga kailangang ayusin. Yun naman yung kagandahan dito kasi i-check nila kung pwede pa ba talagang tumakbo yung kotse mo.
Mm.
And for a while, kasi guys, dito pala sa Japan, there are two kinds of plates. May yellow plate for kei cars, and like for bigger cars, you have a white plate. So I actually have a white plate. So usually yung sa akin, depende sa kung ilan ang kailangang ayusin, could cost you 100,000 yen up. Pero pag K-car ka, baka nasa mga 70 below. 70,000 below lang.
Okay.
Pero ano naman, 2 years naman na yung ano nun, yung validity nun. So hindi na rin siya ganun kasama. Okay.
Yeah, parang pag mag-rent ka lang din, it's the same. So.
Yeah. And ang maganda doon is yung part of renting is yung insurance mo kasama na rin din sa rental fee mo, di ba?
True. Tsaka snow tires for me pag winter.
Yes, true. I have to buy snow tires pa, and which could cost you another amount of money. But in the long run, mas nakakasave ako compared dun sa monthly na binabayaran ko before.
True.
Ayan.
So basically, for if you're just gonna stay in Japan for the program, maybe it won't be wise to buy a car on your first year kung alam mong 2 years ka lang. So but if you're gonna stay long term and you see yourself staying in Japan indefinitely, buying a car would be more practical.
Yeah, and it's very hard to like dispose the car after, di ba?
Yeah.
By the time you're leaving. So mahirap sa ibenta or ipapamigay mo na lang. Ayan. And number 4, we're ending. We're almost ending na pala, no? So baka you have may questions pa kayo, guys. So please, no, feel free to ask questions before we end. So car insurance, there are 2 types of car insurance. Isang compulsory vehicle liability insurance. This basically covers the driver, 'di ba? Pero pagka yung voluntary car insurance naman, yung first one pala is yung driver during times of accident. And then sa voluntary car insurance, dito naman papasok yung mga repair. Ngari, minasira yung kotse mo, nakabangga ka, di ba? Yung repair ng kotse, dun papasok sa voluntary car.
Right.
So I assume both of us have this too.
Yes. So part siya ng rent.
Yeah. So actually guys, ang insurance ko nga dito, kinuha ko lang din online. Hindi naman nakagandahan. Meron silang online insurance, and I was able to, actually insurance ko for a year only cost me 70,000 yen. So hindi siya ganun ka mahal, di ba? Not bad. Kaya yun. So ayun, oh my God.
1 hour na yun, parang ang ikli lang.
Grabe, no? Parang ang ikli lang, di ba? Ito pala, meron pa pala. Okay, ayan. Meron pa pala ito. Ihabol lang natin ito saglit.
Sure.
So what are some important things you need to remember as a driver in Japan, talking about the rules of the road? I got this from the JAF, or the Japan Automobile Federation. So again, I'll read the first one. Please read the next one. So drivers and cyclists must keep left, while pedestrians should keep to the right side of the road.
Drivers must yield to pedestrians.
Yes, amen. Hindi katulad sa Pinas.
So malayo pa lang sila, guys. Stop na. Walang habulan, walang mapaunahan.
Kung sa Pinas to, binusinihan na tayo, tas minura pa tayo. Okay, next, you must not drive under the influence of alcohol. Yes, very true. Alam mo ba, may experience ako dyan. I attended an Enkai. So when I was on my way home, right before I crossed the railroad, there were already policemen, and they stopped me. And they have this, like, I don't know how do you call that machine.
Breathalyzer?
Yeah, I think, that's the one. So they had it like put near my mouth. And I have to make like, Okay,
but
then.
Teacher Max.
Yes, buti na lang. And kahit parang ano lang yan eh. If I'm not mistaken, parang kahit isang sip lang ng beer, hindi ka na pwede mag-drive.
No.
And
Guys. No. Zero.
Yes.
Kailangan zero. Walang 0.0001. No.
Very true. And for example, 'di ba? For example, kami ni Jaja magkasama kami. Ako yung uminom.
Mm,
Alam ni Jaja na uminom ako, pati siya madadamay.
correct.
Okay,
Pag
pagka na
kunyari drive ko si Teacher Max,
yes.
yun, madadamay ako. Because
Yes.
I knew na nakainom siya.
Yes.
So, pwede
Very,
kung ako yung nagda-drive, tapos si Teacher Max yung nakainom, okay lang.
yes. True.
Oo.
Yeah. Okay, next. Please read the next one.
Okay. You must not exceed the allowed number of passengers or load.
Yeah.
Kaway-kaway. Bawal sa atin.
Correct. Bawal ang sabit, guys, ha? Hindi to jeep. Okay, next. When driving a vehicle, you must not use a cell phone or be distracted by the car navigation system. Yeah, sa atin pa naman, di ba? We like entertaining calls.
Yeah,
Diba?
they made it stricter for Japan.
True.
Ngayon.
Okay.
Eh, may question ka ata, Teacher Max.
Ay,
sa
okay, may
comment.
question dito. Teacher Max, how will they know po the date of issuance of your card and what document did you request from LTO to prove na from your kopong-kopong? Was it difficult to get the doc? So actually, how will they know the date of issuance? Dun sa form na kukuhanin from the LTO, nakalagay doon na date issued. So I'll say it na ngayon sa akin, parang 2009, the exact. But you have to make sure na exact data, not the year alone. It has to be like the month and the year. Okay?
Yeah.
So like September 2009, so I got it. And then what document did you request from the LTO? It's called a DFA. It has
Yes.
ano nga yun? A DFA.
I forgot what it's called pero you have to have it stamped pa. Yung may
Yes.
red ribbon pa siya sa mismong foreign affairs.
Yes.
So
parang sorry, it's an LTO a DFA approved, certified, parang ganon, DFA approved LTO certification, something like that.
Yes. Oo,
Pero
parang
ano
ganon.
naman yun? Yeah. Pero gaano yun, Mr. Joffrey, ayan. Si Mr. Joffrey, sa ano lang naman yun? Sa LTO mo siya i-apply, pero ang pag-receive nun is sa DFA na, sa Pasay. And pero ano
ba? 1 week?
Yeah, almost 1 week. Yeah. 1 week. You will get it in a week. And then, or 5 days. And then, ano yun siya? During my time, red ribbon. Naka-red ribbon yung, yung certificate. Actually, yung DFA, yung magre-red ribbon. Pero yung mga ibang ALTs after us, they told me na hindi na pala red ribbon. Parang, it's, how do you say it? Meron ng, may QR code na.
Taray!
Yeah. So, nag-level up.
Oo, nag-level up. Pero literal naman yung sa atin, may pulang ribbon. May red ribbon.
May red ribbon. So, sa akin, may red ribbon siya na document. Pero yung sa yung bago na is parang may QR code na, hindi na siya red ribbon. So, sana nasagot ko ba yung tanong? Was it difficult to get the doc? Hindi po. Madali lang siya. Just go to the LTO main office. Parang you have to make sure, because sa NCR, I believe it should be done in the main office.
Yes.
Pero you cannot do it sa branch lang. I'm not sure if you're outside NCR. Baka doon sa regional office. Main office ng regional. Yan. And then last.
Ano tayo? Dun sa, ako pala, when you drive a vehicle, you must wear a seatbelt. This is very important. All passengers in the vehicle must also wear seatbelts. Very, very strict. So, yung mga pulis dito, hindi sila tulad ng sa atin na makikita mo, malayo pa lang may pulis na. Minsan hindi mo alam, meron nandun pala sila sa corner or what, tapos bigla ka nalang hihintuin, tapos good luck. Mahal ang fines. So, make sure.
At saka, hindi pwedeng katulad sa Pinas na pasaway ng mga drivers na parang pinatong lang.
Ilagay lang sa shoulder. Tas,
no. So, let's use the seatbelt kasi meron naman siyang purpose kung bakit talaga natin siya kailangan. It's for our safety. Yeah. And when you drive with an infant younger than 6 years old, you must place the infant securely in a child's seat.
True.
Bawal po paupuin sa harap.
True.
Yeah. So, kailangan may child seat. So, very, syempre kailangan talaga, you have to take care of the people with you inside the car. Yan. Oh my God! Tapos na tayo! Ayan. So, these are the things that you need to remember in getting a driver's license here in Japan. A transfer license, kirikai, or like either you want to go to a driving school. And then, ayan, we also discussed, diba, some things about driving here in Japan. Do you have any like parang final reminders for them?
Final reminder. I guess I'm just gonna repeat what we said earlier.
Mm.
Even if you think na you won't be assigned to a place where you need to drive, just for the heck of it, get a license in the
Yeah.
Philippines. Get a
Mm.
license in the Philippines, especially for jet participants. The moment you find out that you're accepted, even as an alternate, get
Mhm.
the license immediately, as soon as possible. So I think that's my most important reminder. Everything else you can find out on the internet, but
Yes.
that talaga, I think from experience, that's really what I got from everything that I went through.
And of course, for my experience, you just have to make sure that all your documents are valid and they're not expired.
Yun
Yan.
pa, yun
Diba?
pa. Mm.
And syempre,
Saka
Jaja, bago naman
bawal
tayo
ang burara pala, Teacher Max. Bawal ang
ano,
burara. Kailangan, kasi pagka kumuha ka ng kunyari sa amin sa driver's permit, learner's
mm,
permit, hindi ka makakakuha ng lisensya pag nawala mo yun.
yes, very true.
Hmm. Pag di
Yeah,
mo
so
siya binit.
you have to secure, okay, your
Every,
document. Ayan. So
yun lang.
before we end, Jaja, pakita naman natin ang ating fruit
Ano?
of hard
Ay!
work. Ayan, di
Nashock
ba?
ko
Ito na ang aming Japanese driver's license. Yan. Sa akin ay valid hanggang 2022. Oh, di ba? Hanggang 2022. For example, at ito magandang tanong, Ja.
Oh.
We came here 2018, and if you will
Mm.
maximize the 5 years, hanggang
Oh.
kailan tayo dito? 2023. Tama ba?
Mm.
Yeah. So syempre mag-expire na to ng 2022. Ang gagawin na lang po namin ay renewal na lang at hindi na po namin i-undergo yung same process.
Thank you, Lord.
Diba? Tingnan naman yung kagandahan, guys. Simpleng
Yeah.
renewal na lang. No? Wala na tayong dadaan ng paghihirap. Ayan.
Shucks, next year na siya mag-expire.
Correct. Ayan.
Kasi po 2021 siya. Pero anyway,
Yeah.
it's really, alam ko in other countries you can drive with a Japanese driver's license.
Yes. Yeah, I think so too. Yeah. Okay, so with that, thank you very much, my dear friend Jaja, for joining me today in the very first episode of Tonight with Teacher Max, diba? So
Yeah.
now you know how to get a Japanese driver's license. So I'm very much excited for everyone no na mapupunta dito sa Japan. Sana ay makakuha kayo at maging madali para sa inyo ang pagkuha ng Japanese driver's license. So palakpakan naman natin si Jaja. Wala ba tayong background music?
Ipalakpakan din natin yung mga accepted applicants and alternates ng JET program.
Yes, congratulations! Okay, so habang nandito si Jaja, ipopromote ko na rin ang next episode. Ayan, ito marami din nagre-request nito, Ja. Okay, ayan. Nakikita mo ba? Oh.
Ang dami!
So, syempre dahil ang kagandahan sa batch natin, no, talagang we're very close friends, di ba? Kahit hindi tayo nakikita lagi. So, for the second episode, let me promote of Tonight with Teacher Max, we will be discussing naman, Ja, the joy of being an ALT in Japan.
Oh, I'm sure going to watch that.
Yeah, and ang mga kasama ko dito ay ang mga kabatch natin na fellow ALT YouTubers ko. Ayan. So
nagkagandahan, nagagwapuhan.
Yes. So, nandyan si Anne, nandyan si Angela, at saka nandyan si Tyrell. So, abangan nila yan. Kailan ba ang episode 2? On April 20... Kasi second and fourth Friday. April 24th of the month.
Manonood
ako. Abangan nila. Ayan. Sila naman na mag-share ng, ng screen with me. So, Ja, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Enjoy ka din. Mag-share ng experience mo sa ating mga viewers.
Super enjoy. Thank you for everyone who watched ng 1 hour. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Ayan. May pahabol yata tayong comment.
Si Angela.
Ayan. So, Angela, next time ikaw na kasama ko dito at si Jaja naman ay magko-comment din sa atin.
Oo. Comment ako, wa!
Very true. Ayan. Maraming salamat. So, Ja, thank you very much. And I owe you one pag nakita tayo. Ako na bahala.
Okay lang. Basta safe. Para safe tayo. Sana matapos na lahat for everyone. Itong challenges na kinakaharap natin. Para we can all meet together.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Jaja, I'll be sending you a private message.
Sure.
Ayan. Pero guys, maraming salamat ulit for tuning in dito sa ating first episode of Tonight with Teacher Max. So everyone, let's say bye-bye to our dear friend Jaja already. Thank you very much, Jaja. Once again, I love you.
Love you. Bye.
Okay, so again, thank you very much, everyone. And hopefully na-enjoy nyo ang very first episode of Tonight with Teacher Max. And I know back in the Philippines, we're celebrating Holy Week. So a blessed Good Friday to everyone. Sana ay we were able, the lockdown, uh, what do you call this, made you reflect, di ba? Gave you a chance to reflect, gave you an opportunity to reflect about, di ba, the life, the passion, and the sufferings of Jesus Christ. Ayan. Pero for non-Catholics, I still hope that everyone, of course, is still safe and alive and kicking. Ayan. So maraming salamat muli. And with that, just like what I always say, please stay safe, stay at home, guys. Matatapos rin tong corona pandemic natin. And please, always enjoy life and live life to the max. I'll see you in my next vlog and of course in the next episode of Tonight with Teacher Max. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you very much and I love you everyone. See you soon. What?